Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Tuesday, May 24th, and this is the MLB DFS video for today. So in today's video, we'll be taking a look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out, talking about the core picks for the FanDuel slate for today, and then going over to my article at WeBetATS.com and talking about my top GPP stacks for today as well. But without further ado, we'll get into a recap of yesterday's picks. We're going to start off at the pitcher position with Marco Gonzalez. $8,200 was a guy on paper that looked pretty good going against this Oakland A's offense. Unfortunately, that did not turn out being the case. He got 16 points. He gave up 5 runs in, I believe, 5 or 6 innings, so he was a mess yesterday. Then we had Jose Altuve, $4,200. Obviously, a pretty big price tag there. Had some pretty good history. Versus Tristan McKenzie, he got 6 points yesterday, so he was a push. Not anybody that really hurt us, but not anybody that helped us by any means either. Then we had Javi Baez, $2,500, got to 9 points yesterday, so he was a hit. Then we had his teammate Jonathan Scope at $2,300, got to 27.9 points, so he was a hit as well. But he had the third overall second baseman on the slate. And then last but not least, we had Ronald Acuna Jr., $4,100, 0 points. He was a miss yesterday, 0 for 5, so that was just really, really unfortunate on his part. So not the best day in the world. Obviously, we were hoping Marco Gonzalez and Ronald Acuna and even Jose Altuve to a certain extent would give us a little bit more of a boost yesterday than they did. However, if you were able to mix and match some other good plays with this, you were still able to cash. I did have a line where I mixed and matched some other good plays and was able to cash still regardless. But overall, not the best day in the world. Looking to bounce back in a big way today. So with that being said, we'll get moved over to my core plays for today. So I'm taking a little bit different strategy for today. We're going to pay down at the pitcher position and then kind of pay up at some other spots. So we're going to start off with pitcher George Kirby, $7,000. He's averaging just over 21 fantasy points per game. Obviously, this is his 4th career start at the major league level. Going against that Oakland A's offense that we did take a chance on versus last night. So there's a good chance that it pans out tonight, but there's also the chance that it doesn't work out tonight, and then we just kind of threw 2 Seattle pitchers at Oakland, and their offense actually paid off, but I'm doubting that that happens on back-to-back nights. So at $7,000, I do like the upside that Kirby does present. Then at first base, we had Jared Walsh, $3,300, averaging over 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He's going against Dane Dunning and the Texas Rangers tonight. He is 4 for 5 versus him in his career with 1 home run, so I definitely love the upside that Jared Walsh does present today. $3,300, not a bad price tag by any means. Then we move down to shortstop with Corey Seager, $3,400, averaging over 9.5 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against Noah Syndergaard tonight, 8 for 14 with 1 home run versus him in his career. So a lot of history there in favor of Corey Seager and a lot of upside on tonight's slate overall. Then we're going to go to the double pay up option at the outfield position with Mike Trout and Bryce Harper. You could throw Aaron Judge in this mix as well. All 3 of these guys have very good history versus their respective pitchers today. Mike Trout is 3 for 8 with 2 home runs versus Dane Dunning. And then we do have Bryce Harper, who is 7 for 20 versus Max Fried with 2 home runs as well. And then I think Aaron Judge is 4 for 9 versus Bruce Zimmerman with 2 home runs. Kind of mix and match those guys. You could potentially get all 3 in, but then you'd really have to pay down at some other spots. Definitely could be an interesting little strategy if you're willing to try that out on tonight's slate. I might end up making a line. Maybe I just throw in like a 5 cent or a quarter contest or something like that where we just do a little bit of line like that. But at the same time, this is kind of the way that I'm approaching it today. Pay down at pitcher and then kind of pay up to the tippy top for some hitters today. There's definitely a lot of ways that you can play this slate. You can look at Sonny Gray if you're looking for a mid-price pitcher, or you could look at Walker Buehler if you're looking to pay up a little bit and then kind of go from there as well. Definitely a lot of different ways that you can do it today. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 players that I do have here, you'll have $12,200 remaining, just over $3,000 per player. So maybe you have to pay down at a couple spots or kind of take a little bit more balanced approach, getting a lot of guys right around that $3,000 price range. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my article over at WeBetATS.com and talk about my top stacks for today. First one I do have here is the Minnesota Twins. They are going against Bo Brisky. I believe I'm pronouncing his name correctly, but he is pitching for the Tigers today. He's a rookie pitcher. No history there for the Twins hitters, but I do have some interest in the Twins hitters, and they've really been starting to hit rather well overall. So you got guys like Jorge Polanco, Carlos Correa, Luis Arraez, Gio Urshela, Max Kepler. All these guys have been hitting pretty well. So I definitely have a lot of interest in all 5 of them. And then probably some of the other cheaper players that they do have you could mix and match as well. Then we do have the Dodgers going against their former prospect and Josiah Gray. Should be some upside there. Josiah Gray is a guy that can strike out a lot of guys, but he can also give up a lot of runs as well. And then we have the Yankees going against Bruce Zimmerman. Faced them twice this year. First time, not so many runs. And then the second time they faced him, I believe they scored 4 or 5 runs. So definitely some upside there. A lot of guys that do have good history versus him. Most notably Aaron Judge, who we did briefly mention before. And then we have the Angels, who are going against Dane Dunning. They've hit him pretty well in the past. Obviously, we do have 2 Angels in our core with Jared Walsh and Mike Trout. You could also look at Taylor Ward. There's a couple other Angels that you can mix and match in there as well. But with that being said, these are my core picks as well as top GPP stacks for today, May 24th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's someone from my core 5, whether it's someone from my top GPP stacks, or a completely different player you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you have to say. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's MLB or USFL. Those are the 2 main ones at this point in time. Then once we get back around to the NFL and NBA regular season, I will be covering content for those sports as well. And then with that being said, if you are a newer current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily MLB DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.